almost messed up the streak, but we are here. We are here. It's a little late. It's a little late on this Sunday, but we got class. Let me go ahead and send it out. I don't know if you up. If you up this late, much love and respect to you. If you up studying this late, you probably gonna catch it in the morning, most likely. And that's all love, because whenever you get to this, it was a perfect time for you to get to it. Boom. Got that. And to be real with you, my bad on not doing it this morning. I was actually working on some music, and that makes it kind of difficult to juggle sometimes, doing the music and teaching. But I was coming up with a title for this new project. This gonna be awesome. Let's see if I can share you a little bit. Yeah. Can you give me some? I like this one. Yeah. Life been kind of hard, you know. Yeah. Do our best not to stress. That's all. You feel me? I feel it. That's it. Yeah. Come on. That's it, man. That's it, man. That's it, man. That's it. We're gonna dance in a second. Check it out. Hey. Now, feeling kinda sad, I seen the word, I checked the data. It's so much evil and we too busy debating. No longer waiting, seen the sun, I lift my head up. Gotta get creative, get some yeast and get your bread up. But do remember, life ain't all about the paper though. Make sure you're smiling and loving, make sure you're grateful though. And check it, even in the losses, it is lessons. But you can't pick up the jewels if you're stressing. Tell me, get the message. Come on, that's it, man. That's it, man. Come on, hey, Poppy, hey, that's it, man. Come on, hey, that's it, man. Come on, hey, that's it, man. Hey, that's it, man. Hey, that's it, man. Hey, that's it, man. Ooh, that's it, man. Hit it with the sauce. Hit it with the sauce. All right. Enough of the jams. But that is coming soon. I'm still working on the title. I don't have it just yet. But yeah, anyways, we are on chapter 16. And we are going to be reading from the Holy Koran of the Moorish Temple of America, divinely prepared by Noble Drew Ali, prophet, universal prophet. This came specifically for the so-called black people, African Americans, so-called Negroes, so-called people of color, because we need him the most. This chapter is chapter 16. Real quick, get my notes together. I dropped a link in there for you. Characters. And so I'm going to read through keywords, locations, boom, and questions. I'm going to read through the chapter real quick, highlight some of the key people in this, and this is a long chapter. Locations, words that you don't know or may have a sort of good understanding about, want to double check, double back on those, look those up, and then ask ourselves some questions about the text real quick. So let's get right into it. Chapter 16, this is titled Pilates. Yeah, I believe it's Pilates. Pilates' final effort to release Jesus fails. He washes his hands in feigned innocence, delivers Jesus to the Jews for execution. The soldiers drive him to Calvary. A superstitious people are the Jews. They have a faith that they have borrowed from the idol worshippers. A superstitious people are the Jews. They have a faith that they have borrowed from the idol worshippers of other lands.
that at the end of every year they may heap all their sins upon the head of some man set apart to bear their sins. The man becomes a scapegoat for the multitudes, and they believe that when they drive him forth into the wilds or into foreign lands, they are released from their sins, or they are released from sins. So every spring, before the feast, they chose a prisoner from the prisons of the land, and by a form of their own, they fain would make him bear their sins away. Wow. Among the Jewish prisoners in Jerusalem were three who were the leaders of a vile, seditious band, who had engaged in thefts and murders and rapine, and had been sentenced to be crucified. Barbarus and Josiah were among the men who were to die, but Barabbas, I think that's maybe how you say it, but Barabbas was rich and had bought off priests that boon to be the scapegoat for the people at the coming feast, and he was anxiously in waiting for his hour to come. Now Pilate thought to turn this superstition to account to save the Lord Jesus. And so he went before the Jews and said, "You men of Israel, according to my custom, I will release to you today a prisoner who shall bear your sins away. This man you drive into the wilds or in foreign lands, and you have asked me to release Barabbas." Why is it spelled differently in this one? Barabbas. Barabbas. You know what I'm talking about. They have asked me to release Barabbas, who has been proven guilty of the murder of a score of men. Now hear me, men. Let Jesus be released, and let Barabbas, we're going to go with Barabbas, and let Barabbas pay his debt upon the cross. Then you can send this Jesus to the wilds and hear no more of him. At what the ruler said, the people were enraged, and they began to plot to tear the Roman palace down and drive in exile Pilate and his household and his guards. When Pilate was assured that a civil war would follow if he heeded not the wishes of the mob, he took a bowl of water, and in the presence of the multitude he washed his hands and said, "This man whom you accuse is son of the Most High Allah. I proclaim my innocence. If you would shed his blood is on your hands and not mine." And then the Jews exclaimed, "And let his blood be on our hands and on our children's hands." And Pilate trembled like a leaf in fear. And Barabbas he released. And as the Lord stood forth before the mob, the ruler said, "Behold your king." And would you put to death your king? And the Jews replied, "He is no king. We have no king but great Tiberius." Now Pilate would not give consent that Roman soldiers should imbue their hands in blood of innocents. And so the chief priests and the Pharisees took counsel what to do with Jesus. Caiaphas has said, "We cannot crucify this man. He must be stoned to death and nothing more." And then the rabble said, "Make haste, let him be stoned." And then they led him forth toward the hill beyond the city's gates, where criminals were put to death. The rabble could not wait until they reached the place of skulls. As soon as they passed the city gates, they rushed upon him, smote him with their hands, they spit on him, stoned him, and he fell upon the ground. And one, a man of Allah, stood forth and said, "Isaiah said, he shall be bruised for our transgressions, and by his stripes we shall be healed." And Jesus laid all bruised and mangled on the ground. A high priest called out, "Stay, stay, you men. Behold, the guards of Herod come, and they will crucify this man." And there beside the city gates they found Barabbas, excuse me. Yep, beside the city gates they found Barabbas' cross. And the frenzied mob cried out, "Let him be crucified." Caiaphas and the other ruling Jews came forth and gave consent. And they lifted Jesus from the ground, and at the point of swords they drove him on. A man named Simon from Cyrene, a friend of Jesus, was near the scene. And since the bruised and wounded Jesus could not bear his cross, they laid it on the shoulders of this man and made him bear it to Calvary. Whew. And that's all for that chapter. Man, this chapter is like, pretty heavy, pretty rough, man. They was doing my man Jesus wrong, man. Doing him so cold. It's a lot going on. It's a lot of people named. So let me run through that real quick. We got Jesus. We got Allah. We got my man Simon from Cyrene, and that's Simon, Simon, and Cyrene is Cyrene. I'm gonna look that up. Cyrene. Who else do we have? Caiaphas, Caiaphas. All right. Barabbas, Jezia, Jezia, Jezia. Dang, there's a whole lot of people. Pilate. Who else was it? Who else? It was a couple of other. Tiberius, the king. Pharisees is up in this piece. Chief priests, you know what I mean? There mentions rabble, Rabble. Actually, let me look at this other one just to make sure that's spelled right. Yep, Rabble. I want to look that up. Okay. Thought it was a little mix up. I think that's all of the names of the people. But go through, get all the characters so you know everybody who's in this chapter, who's being spoken on. All right, then keywords. I want to look up rabble, Rabble. I also want to look up seditious and rapine, rapine, Rapine. I don't know exactly what that means. And I feel like it was one other word that I seen. No, maybe not. Maybe not. Should have highlighted if I seen it. But in this section, you just look up words that you don't know or you don't have a clear understanding of. And just look up the word and see what it means. Look it up in multiple dictionaries if you have them. Today, I'm going to be using the big dog here. This is the Random House Dictionary, the English Language, 2nd edition, unabridged. 1 second, I just seen that question. I'll get to it in a second. I'm going to look up rapine. Rapine, R-A-P-I-N-E. P, rapacious, rapid fire, rapier, repel, repine. Oh, gotcha. Rapine, the violent seizure and carrying off of another's property, plunder. From Latin, rapina, robbery, pillage. Hmm. And then it also has C, rape, and then INE as a suffix also. But that, okay, that makes sense. Rapine, because I was talking about um, the gang that was in prison that they wanted to swap dude out for Jesus. And they on line 5 it says, among the Jewish prisoners in Jerusalem were three who were the leaders of a vile, seditious band who had engaged in thefts and murders and rapine. So these dudes was some these was not some good fellas, man. I wanted to look up rabble since I was right here. RABBLE. Excuse me. RABBLE. Rabble. A disorderly crowd, a mob. Got it. The lower classes, the common people. Mob. Got it. Okay. So the rabble is a mob. Where did I see that line at? And then the rabble said, make haste, let him be stoned. So it's just the mob. And the mob could not wait, the rabble could not wait until they reached the place of skulls. So the mob doing the mob stuff. And seditious, I heard seditious, I know it's basically not good, but I just wanted to look it up for myself. Seditious, of or pertaining to or of the nature of sedition, given to or guilty of sedition. And bring it down to sedition. Incitement of discontent or rebellion against a government. That's what it was. Any action, especially in speech or writing, promoting such discontent or rebellion. Rebellious disorder. Got it. Insurrection, mutiny. Got it. So they was just a foul clique, man. Doing some dastardly deeds and had money and got himself swapped out for Jesus, who wasn't doing nothing but, teaching the truth, love instead of hate, you know what I mean? So we got the keywords, characters, locations real quick. Locations. Man, they speak of Calvary, place, Cyrene, Israel. I seen another place. The land of, not the place of skulls. Where was it at? It's one other place. Come on, dog. There it goes. Beyond the city gates. The place of skulls. I just put that in parentheses. Just something to just do something. Sometimes Isaiah. That was the other person mentioned. Jerusalem. Boom, Jerusalem. You got Cyrene, Calvary, Israel. Yeah, that looks like that's all the situation right here. And the locations. Boom, 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 boom. Roman Palace. We could put the Roman Palace in there. Boom. Yeah. Put the Roman Palace in there as well. And then I wanted to just look up Calvary real quick. Calvary, Jerusalem. Oh, wow. I'm gonna drop this. I'm gonna drop this in there for you. This is my first time looking this up too, so bear with me. Boom. So when I looked up Calvary and Israel together, it came up with Golgotha, hill in Jerusalem. Golgotha, Golgotha, Aramaic for skull, also called Calvary, from Latin calva, bald head or skull, is a skull-shaped hill in Jerusalem, the site of Jesus' crucifixion. It is referred to in all four Gospels. The hill of execution was outside the city walls of Jerusalem, apparently near a road and not far from the sepulchre. I don't know how to pronounce that one. Sepulchre, where Jesus was buried. Its exact location is uncertain, but most scholars prefer either the spot now covered by the Church of the Holy Sepulchre or a hillock called Gordon's Calvary just north of the Damascus Gate. So, it's a real location. Golgotha. You can look it up. Golgotha. And the reason why I look up the locations when I'm studying in this is that it gives you an understanding of where exactly these things was going on, so you can put a place and a location, to these things, and you're not just reading it thinking it's just some cool stories. That's another one here. Wow. Well, I'm not going to get to too much reading and studying on my own right now because I'm going to be doing this. But, interesting. Calvary, Cyrene. Let me look up Cyrene, too, real quick. Well, why ain't nobody tell me Cyrene was in Libya? Oh, you don't say, huh? And my man Simon was from Cyrene. Jesus' partner from Libya, man. My man Jesus had a Libyan partner. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. That's crazy. Let's just give you something to look up. Oh, oh, that's not cool. Let's not do that. Boop, boop. Um, Focus now. Questions. When you read through this chapter, after you read through, you done looked up some of the words, you go back through, read it again, get some understanding. You done looked up the places and the spaces of where this is taking place. You got an understanding. Okay, you look on the map, you said, oh, okay, well, there's Libya, and there's Jerusalem over there. And so my man Simon, he was over here, and we know Jesus was chilling in Egypt, so that's probably where they connected. You know what I'm talking about? They just, you know what I mean, kicking it. You know what I mean? Boom, back over there where that was all going down in Jerusalem. But just give you some idea, give you an idea on exactly where it was going, what was going on, and where it was at. Questions. What is the main key points of this chapter? What is this chapter's main point? This chapter, for the most part, is really just a record of explaining what happened. It doesn't have too much, like wisdom or like wise sayings, in there. It's really just letting you know, man, Jesus was going through some stuff, man. Other questions to ask yourself: is any of this information new to you? Does it challenge anything that you believed previously? Do you disagree or have an opposing perspective in regards to this chapter? If so, what is your disagreement based on, or what is your perspective based on? When reading this chapter, how can you apply some of the lessons from this chapter in your real life? What can you pull from this chapter and apply to your day tomorrow? In real time, not just, it sounds good, but in something practical. And that's really for you to answer. I can't really answer that for you. That's something to reflect on and think about as we read. And most importantly, at least for me with this chapter, is it highlights the importance of reading and studying the other true and divine prophets, the other holy books, so that you can get a full understanding of what's going on. Because, we're getting bits and pieces, but if we really want to know what's going on, we got to get to the Bible. You know what I mean? We got to get into that Quran, and all of the scriptures, the holy books, and really studying. Oh, that put Pharisees? Yeah, it did. And really study all of it to get the full understanding, the full perspective. Because it's just a little sample, but I know I'm personally ignorant of the story, so I don't know everything that's going down. But I know it's some stuff that's not supposed to be happening. And when we keep reading, we find out Jesus, gets up out of that thing. I don't want to spoil it for you. Just mess with you. And that's really all for this chapter. I'm trying to think if there's something I want to kind of highlight from this chapter. I think maybe the one thing I will speak on is, Simon being a friend of Jesus, and that he was near the scene, and since the bruised and wounded Jesus could not bear his cross, they laid it on the shoulders of this man and made him bear it. And I reflect on that in the thinking that, like, for example, you may be supporting Noble Drew Ali and the teachings that Noble Drew Ali laid down. You know what I mean? And Noble Drew Ali had to go through some certain things. You may catch some, some of the extra heat because of Noble Drew Ali, because of the person that, you're supporting or you're standing next to or you're friends with. They're moving on the righteous path. And that person's enemies or opposition, they may not like nobody that person is cool with or that's cool with that person. And so you may have to bear a cross that ain't even yours. But understand that's the path you may have to walk when you're on the righteous side. It's just how it works. You know what I mean? You down with Jesus, man, might get a little hot. Might get tested. You know what I mean? Are you gonna stay back and watch? Just let the person go through it by themselves? Or are you gonna be righteous and stand up with them? It's a thought. I wanted to answer the question though. I said, it's a piece at 2 a.m. here. What happened? Man, to be honest with you, life happened. I got up, I ran the lake, was feeling good, and then I had to wash my hair, so I set aside a bunch of time to do that, and then I started brainstorming for an album title, and the brainstorming session kind of, blocked out a bunch of time, and then before I realized it, I had to go to work, and I was just shaking and moving, and didn't realize I didn't even record this until I was about to clock out, and I said, we got to get it in, and here we are. I don't think I got. Assalamu alaikum, select salam, peace, Islam. Gotcha. I like that statement. You said you believe Mr. Kareem, Khan Benjamin Methuselah. I hope I pronounced that, Methuselah. Mr. Kareem. Mr. Kareem says that speaking the name Jesus is showing ignorance of the Roman injections of paganism. The Honorable Messiah's name is Emmanuel, Isa Abdullah. I appreciate that perspective. And boom. if you read this book here, which is The Mysteries of the Silent Brotherhood of the East, in this book, boom, I just flipped the page. Chapter 1 it says, "And we have talked with him, the messenger of love, and the covenant of peace on earth and goodwill to men. Through him shall all the nations of earth be blessed, through him, Emmanuel." And so in here, I thought in this book it actually referred to him as Joshua, but maybe it doesn't. But in this one, it does have him references Emmanuel, which still works. But I was trying to show you an example of him being referred to as Joshua. Oopsies. I could have sworn I had that somewhere. Actually, one second. Be right back. Let me check one thing. Yeah, okay. Oopsies. Come. I knew I wasn't tripping. It's just in my beat up one. So this is my original copy. It's a little beat up, as you can see, and worn. we didn't been through some battles with this thing here. You know what I'm talking about? We falling apart. You know what I'm talking about? Gotta study. And then where is it? Boom. Yeah. I don't know if you can see that chapter right there. Yeah. Chapter 3, the title, The Life and Works of Yehoshua at the Age of 10 Years. So, between the books that I have here, boom, okay, we have Jesus referred to as, he's named as Jesus, he's named as Emmanuel, Yehoshua, also, there's one more other one, and Isa in the Quran. And also, this explains that he was given the scroll Logos Circle 7. That's representing him. That's his name. Or those, I'm misquoting it. Let me see if I can find it for you real quick. No, that's not it. Because in this book, he is chilling and he gets some scrolls and it breaks down. Here it goes. Jesus receives the mystic name and number and passed the first brotherhood test, or Yehoshua. The circle is the symbol of the perfect man, and the 7 is the number of the perfect man. The Logos is the perfect word, that which creates, that which destroys, and that which saves. This Hebrew master, speaking of Yehoshua, Jesus, Isa, Emmanuel, is the Logos of the Holy One, the circle of the human race, the 7 of the time. And in the record book, the scribe wrote down the Logos circle 7, and thus was Jesus known. So, it's layers to Jesus' name, Yehoshua's name, Emmanuel's name, Isa's name. It's levels to this brother. Very special being. I think what's most important is to not get caught up and stuck in, well, I think we should call him Isa. No. He should be calling him Emmanuel. No, mama named Jesus, I'ma call him. You know what I mean? If you're lost in that and trying to prove, he's supposed to be called this. This is the right name to call him. Then you didn't miss the point. You're missing the message. So don't get lost and caught up so much in the name, and really understand who and what Jesus represented and what he was teaching. And also, on a very simple level, Noble Drew Ali, in the cover, says, "Know thyself and Allah, the genealogy of quote unquote Jesus, life and works of Jesus in India, in Europe, and in Africa, in the land of Egypt. The genealogy of Jesus with 18 years of the events, life, works, and teachings in India, Europe, and Africa." If Noble Drew Ali didn't want to use the name Jesus, I'm pretty sure he just wouldn't have used Jesus. And so I don't think we should get caught up on that because it's not that big a deal. Hope that makes sense. But I do appreciate the question or the perspective. And I do understand where you're coming from. I think it's important to understand that Jesus wasn't, his true name in that sense, and that he was referred to by several different names. I think that's key for us to understand because that allows us to really get all of the information about Jesus' life. The easiest way that I show this, the analogy is Jay-Z. Some people know him as Jay-Z. Some people know him as Hove. Some people know him as Jigga. Some people know him as Sean Carter. Some people know him as Beyonce's husband. All of those are different names. Some people know him as something in the street. All of those is different names, still the same person. You know what I mean? And to fully know who that human being is, Jay-Z or Jesus or whoever, I think it's key to understand all aspects of them. You know what I mean? And not just be limited in your focus. Yeah. That's all I got on that. I don't see any other questions. And we are done with the chapter. And I know it's late. I see there's a couple of y'all on here, man. What y'all doing up, man? You're supposed to get some sleep. You got school or something tomorrow? Some work or something? Is there any other questions about chapter 16? Or anything Moorish related while I'm here? I don't see any questions. I appreciate you tapping in, though. Whoever watching this lady. I don't know why you're up, but I appreciate it. Yeah, I ain't really got much. I ain't trying to ramble on too much. We've been on 37, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and close it up. Thank you. Appreciate it. Keep studying. Read it for yourself. I dropped the link in there in the beginning. Let me drop it in one more time. Study the Quran, Circle 7. Study all the information that Noble Drew Ali brought us. Very wise cat. Study all the prophets. All the information from all of the holy and the true and divine prophets. Very important. Other than that, man, stand on love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Especially in these days and times. Got to stand on principle. And love instead of hate. That's the key. That's the way. Thank you. Much love. See you next Sunday, early in the morning next time. All right.